Glad you could make it today. So everybody in chat, we are live here, Zach. I just want to let you know.
Oh, copy that.
Yeah. It's like live. I'm live all day long. So when you tune in, we're live.
No kidding. Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. I'm live since about 7 a.m. So this is Zach from Celsius Network, stopping in, and we've had a lot of questions about Celsius Network in the chat. I myself have used BlockFi, and I haven't gotten a chance to dip my toe into Celsius. So I'm glad we get to have
Sure,
you on,
sure.
Zach. And just like a
Yeah,
little
absolutely.
history, how did you get with Celsius? I guess for everybody is where we'll start. And like a little history about Celsius. How did it get started?
Yeah, absolutely. So I got caught up in the 2017 Bitcoin craze. Got to see the whole ride up, and on the way down, I stuck with it. I love the philosophy of Bitcoin, fixed money supply, not controlled by governments. And so I stuck with it, kept learning. And the end of 2018, I saw Alex Mashinsky, who's our CEO, on I listened to him on Pomp's podcast, Anthony Pompliano.
Yeah.
And he's talking about his company, Celsius, where they act in the best interest of the user. You earn crypto on your crypto, and it's an amazing way to save and build wealth very quickly with appreciating assets. So I did like most people. I sent in $10 and let it sit there for a while and then pulled it out and then moved it around, make sure everything was kosher, and then started funneling money in. I got more and more invested in the project, and I got more and more involved in their Telegram community and their Twitter community. Made a lot of friends. And then probably midway through 2019, I said, "Hey, I really want to work for this company." And so I sent I don't know how many emails to the founder, co-founder, employees, anyone I could, to find a way that I could join the team. And then fortunately, I got to meet them in person at the Litecoin conference in Vegas in October of 2019. So went there, met Alex, met a bunch of the staff, and then they were like, "Hey, this kid's pretty cool." They offered me a job a few months later, and then that's when I got hired to the company in February 2020.
Oh my God! Right before you went to like probably one of the last cryptocurrency events there was before coronavirus
Yes,
and everything. I feel
yeah, back when the world was normal.
like.
We had a
Got
great time, and yeah,
got to shake hands with everybody and meet everybody. That's amazing.
right. No masks or anything. It was almost unreal to think about it now.
You're right. I'm itching. Do you know of any like cryptocurrency events? Are they starting to come back? Do you think here soon, or what do you think?
Yes, yeah, the big event is going to be Bitcoin 2021 in Miami in June. I think June 4th through the 6th is going
June.
to be it. Everybody's going to be there.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's something to put on the calendar, huh?
Yes, absolutely. If you're into crypto and you're ready to get back at it, Bitcoin 2021 in Miami is where it's going to be.
Okay, that's on the calendar. I'm definitely marking that down. I appreciate that, Zach. That's good to
Hmm.
know. Chat, mark that down. I'm actually headed down there for a poker tournament, the World Poker Tour here next month in April, um,
Ah, okay.
in Miami. So that should be pretty interesting.
Yes,
So
that's fun.
so more about Celsius because I was interested about this. As and are there restrictions for Americans? How does all this work with Americans and and everything like that? Are there restrictions on taking the loans?
Yeah, so I'll kind of give you our general philosophy is we act in the best interest of the user.
Uh
And
huh.
that's really where all of our decisions come from. And our business model is um, more or less securities lending. Right now, if you have a 401k or if you own stocks and bonds, the brokerage that actually holds that asset is lending it out behind your back, right? Like when someone shorts a stock, they're borrowing your stock. It's just your brokerage is paying you zero for that privilege, right? They're holding your stock, they're lending your stock out, and then paying you nothing. All that Celsius does is we take that same business model where we hold your Bitcoin instead, and crypto just really allowed this to happen, but the business model is the same. We hold your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, your Polkadot, whatever you have. We lend it out, and then we pay you 80% of what is earned. And that's the key difference. We're taking your asset and paying you interest or paying you rewards in kind on that. So every Monday you get more Bitcoin on your Bitcoin.
Yeah, and it's a weekly payout of the interest.
Correct. Yeah. Every week you're stacking stats every week.
And so you guys are lending to other institutional I guess people that are borrowers, I guess we would call it.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Primarily that's what we do. The trouble that's seen in DeFi is that there'll be way too many borrowers or way too many lenders, and that kind of affects the rates. But we have this huge established book of institutional clients that want to borrow that Bitcoin to trade it, to do market making, to do all these things. So we say, hey, that's fine. You provide us collateral and then pay us a fee, right, an interest rate, and you can borrow $100 million in Bitcoin, right? And so through that, our users are gaining these rewards, effectively sucking money from institutions while they just sit on their crypto.
really interesting. That's very, very, very fascinating. So what and how often do the rates change? Or like, is it weekly, every week when you get paid out also you get weekly rates or
Yeah, we update the rates every week, but they're pretty stable. There's not often large swings. Again, kind of another difference of DeFi where it changes, hour to hour. It can be wild changes, but we're pretty stable. Like we'll move a reward rate 0.5% this way or 0.5% that way, just so that we are not overpaying and we're not paying more than we're earning. And that's really our standard, right? We have to go every week and say, okay, how much are we going to earn? X amount, we can pay this rate, and then we'll see how it goes the next week. If the market's about the same, that rate will usually stay the same. And we have some flexibility, and because we have 45 assets, there's a lot of juggling, but overall the rates are pretty stable. But we'll see like macro trends, like in the bear market, Bitcoin rates were really high because people wanted to borrow Bitcoin in order to short sell it, right? Because they think it's going down. And then the opposite now, Bitcoin rates are lower, but stable coin rates are very high because people want to borrow stable coins in order to go long. So it's really a balancing act between assets and market sentiment. But at the end of the day, as a crypto holder, every Monday you're winning. Every Monday you're getting paid, and that's what it's about.
and it compounds from there as well.
Yes, yeah, weekly compounding interest. So I get, a million sats this week. Next week I'm gonna get a million plus interest, compounded, and when you start earning compounding interest on a fixed supply asset that's also appreciating, it's a very, very powerful force.
Absolutely. And so what I guess my next question would be then like what is the Celsius token and how does that come into play with the network? Is that like equity in the company? How does that work with regulations? Is where I get confused.
Sure, sure. Celsius token is our community utility token. It doesn't represent equity, but the company uses it as a very powerful tool to leverage more income, to leverage higher rewards for users, to get discounts on our loan products. And like you're saying earlier, there are some restrictions in the US because we have always stayed fully compliant and we don't test any of the boundaries with regulators. So when we started the company, we filed under Reg D and we kind of treat Cell Token as a security. So that's why it's hard for US people to purchase it because you can't sell a security to an unaccredited investor. Accredited investor laws, I think, are pretty wild. You have to be rich in order to, buy a security early stage,
Hmm.
and I think that's really unfair. But that's the law as it is now. So
I've
we
run
don't.
and I've run into the problem several times and made
Yeah.
it around the issue one time and hopefully yeah, I understand the troubles with that for sure.
Yeah. So if you're US and you do get a hold of Cell Token somehow, you can hold it in the wallet and you can earn, I think it's 4.8% in rewards on the Cell token just on itself. But other features like earning Cell token on your Bitcoin are restricted from US non-accredited.
Understood. Makes sense. And then, so the Cell token you use as when people put money into Cell token, it's giving like a more liquidity, I guess, to Celsius to use. Is that what it is?
Right, and we use the Cell token to earn additional rewards for our community. So in the world of borrowing and lending, if you have a lender that will accept Cell token as collateral, the company will say, "Hey, I've got $100 million in Cell token. Can we earn a yield against that, or can we borrow USDT, right, and lend that out for yield?" So it's basically we bootstrap a brand new asset, and that has massive market value now, over $1 billion. And that $1 billion can be put to work through various means to generate more yield for the network overall, for the community overall. And it's really
Understood.
like it's a power play because there's some of our competitors have tokens, some don't, but having a token that's gaining like a accepted collateral or an accepted market value is very, very powerful. It's like Celsius is like the central bank of Cell token, right? Except we have a fixed supply and it's there's no mining or additional tokens being made. But for the community, it's very advantageous.
And also for yourselves, I mean, it's a way to get that liquidity, I guess, with having to sell. Like, I feel like the companies are going two different ways, and that's what I'm trying to figure out for myself. Kind of
Hmm.
what's going on, between like, you have companies like BlockFi and some of the others that are like selling equity, and Coinbase going public, selling equity, stock and things like
Right.
that. And then you have, I guess, Cell token is a way that you guys are raising liquidity for operations and things without having to sell equity in the is it a company? Is Celsius a
Yes.
company? It is a
Yeah, yeah,
company.
yeah.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
we're a company. We're based in the UK. You can go on our website, see all of our filings, all of the regulators that oversee us.
You guys are
Um,
based in the UK. That's good to know. I didn't know that.
yes. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
All our filings are on the company house. We're very, very transparent. That's another thing we're huge about. That's why, like, when you download the app, you can look at our community page. You can see our total assets. You can see how much Bitcoin we hold. You can see how many users we have, how many active wallets we have. I mean, we put it really all out there. And then on Fridays, I get to do the AMA with Alex, and we just spit out as much information as we can, answer as many questions as we can, because this is a trust building business, right? We understand that we're holding $10 billion worth of other people's money, and we have to, number one, secure it, number two, secure it, and then number three, generate yield and pay you every week.
So that's a great way to put that. Number one, secure it, and number two, secure it.
Yeah,
And I'm assuming you guys, like, what are you guys doing to secure it, or what can you? I know you can't speak on everything. You can't give us the full roadmap on that, but what is done to secure the cryptocurrency, or even when you lend it out, that people are, collateralized well enough to borrow against it? What what
sure,
what are the stopping points there, and how are we sure that our money's safe?
sure. So, like, all of our retail loans are at least 100% over collateralized, meaning we get two parts collateral for every $1 that we loan out. And that can go up to 4 to 1, and you get favorable rates because it's extra safe for the community, right? If I've got $4 of Bitcoin for every dollar that I lend you, that's a very, very safe loan. And then for institutions, we vet all of our institutions. They go through a very rigorous exploration process where we get to see their books, their financials, we get to see how strong their balance sheet is. And then we always collateralize those loans as well. And some are more, some are less, depending on the perceived risk. But like that gives us the ability to do business with, 10 or $100 billion companies and offer them hundreds of millions of dollars worth of crypto that they want to trade. And it's very convenient that we do that due diligence.
That makes a lot of
So,
sense. That makes a
yeah,
lot of sense.
the one part of the security is just having that collateral because we know that If their loan was to ever go bad for whatever reason, we can always make our users whole. And then again, that's number one and number two priority is making sure our users are always whole. And then the second part is like the um, technical security, the cyber security, and we have a phenomenal team based out of Israel. Sharon, he's been on the AMA a few times now, and he is a master of cybersecurity, and we go above and beyond. We use MPC, multi-party computation, to protect keys. And at any given time, we don't have a lot of assets just sitting in our wallets in the first place because they're mostly deployed earning yield, right? There's not one big honeypot that you could strike and steal $10 billion. There's thousands and thousands of wallets that are protected in a number of ways.
That makes sense. Like you're not just holding the asset; it's got to be deployed to make yield. So there's no real one wallet to strike. I never really thought about that.
Yeah, exactly. Or like insurance, some companies will say, "Oh, we have insurance," and that who knows how true that claim is, but funds are only insured when they're not moving and then cold storage. And then how are you paying yield on an asset that's just sitting there, right? If
Uh,
it's not a staking token, then you can't earn yield on Bitcoin just sitting in a cold wallet.
Makes complete sense. That makes complete sense. So is the United States, I guess I'm feeling left out here. The United States is putting like kind of a stop on me being able to fully use your services.
Yeah, there are some limitations, but and even the states, depending on what state you're in, Washington and New York, they
Hmm.
are like almost completely blacked out, and then other states like I think Florida are completely open to our services except self token. So most of our services are available in most areas. In almost every state, you can earn yield in kind, so more Bitcoin on your Bitcoin or ETH on your ETH,
Hmm.
just by holding it in the wallet. So you go to the App Store, make sure you put out your referral code in here. Both users get $30 when they use your referral code, and make that $200 transfer, hold it for 30 days. But yeah, you just transfer those funds in there, and whatever you're able to put in the app, you're going to start making money on immediately. And then you'll get paid every Monday,
And
like clockwork.
I love that you guys have the availability of a lot of coins.
Yes. Yeah,
You
we right now I think we support like 45 assets, somewhere around that area.
I gotta ask this question because I'm a huge Cardano guy, and tax
Yes.
season's coming up, and I get a big tax bill. I don't get money
Yes.
back; I get a bill.
Yep.
So,
Same.
how do I borrow against my Cardano without selling it to pay my
Yeah.
tax bill? Is that coming to Celsius?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Every asset that we support, you're able to borrow against. And Cardano, if you look in the app right now, it's in the coming soon section. I think we announced it should be available in Q2. We have to basically set up the infrastructure in order for us to support the token. Our custodians, or at least one of our custodians, have to support it. So we have a place to hold it securely and deploy it from. But yeah, once it's added, anytime you can electronically request for a loan. And if it's a stablecoin loan, you could get funded in just a few hours, and get stablecoin sent to the wallet of your choice.
Now, if I do that and get funded in a stablecoin loan, do I have to pay taxes when I cash the stablecoin out?
You have to check in your area, but generally not because it's a one-to-one ratio.
Anyway, oh yes, you
Yeah,
didn't make or lose any money.
right. You could also get I think we have a $5,000 minimum for cash wires for US dollar wires.
Hmm.
But if it's over $5,000, you can get it wired to you, and just do it that way so you don't have any concern at all.
And what are the terms of those loans? Like, how long is the term? What's the interest rate payments?
I think interest rates start at 8% and go as low as 1% if you do 4-to-1 collateral. So every 4 Cardano you give me, I basically give you the same dollar's worth, and that's a 1% loan. And that's available everywhere that loans are accepted. So very, very affordable, and it's an interest-only loan, meaning that you're paying 1% of your total amount borrowed per year. Very, very inexpensive. And that allows you the flexibility to unlock the value of your assets if you need to sell it for taxes or you need cash for something else. And your interest payments will be extremely low, 1/12 of 1% per month.
And
Um,
that good question in chat, and also good thing. If staking, how would that work with Cardano or any of the other stakeable assets? Am I receiving those rewards as well when I put Cardano with you, or another asset, let's say?
Yes, yeah. So right now, we our job at Celsius is to earn as much yield for the user as possible. So if it's a staking asset like would be a great example. Right now, I think we pay 90 over 100% actually because we lend it as well of the Dash staking yield to our users. So it becomes like a blended rate situation where we say, okay, we can stake it for 6%, but if someone wants to borrow it at 8 or 9 or 10%, we'll lend them at that higher rate. So it kind of creates a floor of the rate that you can earn. But yeah, we'll be launching ETH2 staking. I'm sure we'll have Cardano staking because we wouldn't support it without a yield.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a win-win for everybody because you don't have to go through the extra steps or pay a high fee for staking to a third party. We'll take it for you and give it to you basically flat across the board or even higher if we can lend the asset out.
That makes a lot of sense. So like the staking rewards kind of become, it puts in a floor for what you'll receive
Exactly.
out of just the asset sitting there staked with you guys. And then when
Correct.
you're able to lend it out at a higher interest rate, that just kind of what you're saying becomes the blended rate that you're actually paid out from Celsius at
Exactly.
the end. You'll see a blended rate that's slightly higher than the staking rate, basically,
Right.
you would receive.
Yep.
That is extremely interesting and good to know as well for people that are interested in that. I'm very interested in that. So and then it's an interest only loan,
Yes.
1%. You're making interest only payments, and it's a
Correct.
1 year loan. Are you able to roll that every year?
Yeah, so our initial terms go up to 3 years, but if 3 years come, which we haven't, I think we just have been around for a little over 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So if you hit that 3 year mark and want to refinance it, that's never been a problem. You can roll that forward for another 3 years.
Or can I just like roll in out of my staking and rewards to just pay off the loan throughout the year? How does that work?
Well, yeah, so that's an interesting dynamic. The assets that you lock up, they don't earn yield. If you take a loan against those assets, those ones don't earn yield, but
Mm.
everything else that's not locked for that loan does. So you can get in a situation where your income from your other assets is paying off your loans, your car payment, your rent. It all depends how much you have locked in Celsius. So, like, I got in a situation where Celsius now, the yield from my assets could pay for my lifestyle. It's really the epitome of financial independence. Like your assets are generating yield for you every week and can pay all of your bills, right? It's all just a matter of how much you have and how much you need.
That is the dream and the goal that we all work towards every day, I feel like.
Yeah,
And that's what
definitely.
I'm trying to figure out is how do I keep as much of this cryptocurrency that I've built up now? How do I keep it in my possession? Because I believe that they're going to continue to appreciate, and I don't want to sell it to pay my tax bill. I would rather
Right.
borrow against it and then pay that off with the yield I'm earning or whatever it is in the future.
Yep, exactly right. Like, and your assets, when you take a loan, it's in most places, it's not a taxable event. So you maintain ownership of your Cardano and you get the cash, that it's valued at. So you can buy whatever you need to buy or pay your taxes and not give up the ownership of that asset so that when it does another 5x or another 10x, you get all of that appreciation. That's yours because those are still your tokens. And then eventually you have to pay off your loan, but if your Cardano goes up 10x, then paying off your loan someday is not a problem.
Right, not even a thing. Yeah. It's not even a thing.
Right.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Um, so is there a way to
It's kind of like what people do with Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, is there a way to borrow against like multiple assets? Like if I were to deposit some Ethereum, some Bitcoin, and some Cardano, am I borrowing against all my assets, or am I selecting only one to borrow against? How does that work? Is it against total
Yeah,
portfolio balance?
right. That's something that we are developing, a multi-collateral loan, but it's not live yet. Right now, it's just one asset at a time. Now, you could take three different loans against three different assets. That's no problem. But eventually, we will roll out. Your account balance is 100,000. You can borrow 50,000 of that. In any way you would like.
Absolutely, that makes complete sense. That makes complete sense. And to know that multi-asset loans are coming, that's good to know as well.
Yeah, it's huge, huge benefit. And then you can really just stack whatever assets you love, borrow against them anytime, and then you're in a beautiful financial position.
Understood, understood. And you guys don't carry any insurances or anything like that. Are there any certifications or anything like that really in the cryptocurrency? I don't think there are any in the space yet. And are there any insurances?
It's a developing market. We do have insurance from our custodian Fireblocks, but again, it's not the insurance that like, oh, if someone gets hacked, the insurance company is going to cover it. Like, there's a lot of nuance to our website to really get the full details.
Mm-hmm.
We are working on a self-insurance product so that we can cover, it'd be an opt-in where you say, hey, I'll give up a portion of my yield in order to enroll in this self-insurance product. And we'll have more news on that. But because the desire is there, people want, they want insurance. They want that extra safekeeping to know at the end of the day, if the world were to burn, at least they would get the value of their crypto back. But we put security as number one and number two. And anyone that's telling you that your coins are fully insured against everything is probably not telling you the truth. But take a look at our website, look at all of our licenses. We are regulated. We do comply with all the local laws in the US. We're registered in the UK. And we like to show that off because there's very, very few companies that are, and many companies that are operating outside what would be considered legal.
Absolutely, and that's what kind of drew me to you guys is like you guys are definitely getting used a lot. Celsius is getting used a lot. I hear about it a lot, and I have friends that are using it legally, and then I hear about some of the like more illegal things that some other people are using, and I just get scared away from it. I don't want to go down that route. So this is all good to hear. And I didn't know you guys were based in the UK. That was huge. I didn't know exactly where you guys
Mm-hmm.
were based out of.
Yeah, our address is on our website, the very bottom of the page, and then if you go, you can see all the regulators that we comply with. We just put our financial report out. I mean, we do it all. You're never going to find more information about any other company because we put it out there and we scream it from the rooftops.
Absolutely. And you guys are constantly doing the live streams and the AMAs, which are seem to be growing. I see them just growing every week. Um,
Yeah,
which
it's
is
all about building that confidence. Alex's favorite term is trust deposit, right? Every interaction we have with users, we want to create a trust deposit because we are holding your money, right? We are holding some people's life savings. So we want to make sure that we treat them properly and we do nothing that would hurt the trust that we have with our community.
whoa, you have a US phone number on here. Do you have phone customer service support?
Yeah, there's a US phone number. It's not a full service line. That's something we're still developing, but yeah, give that number a call and see who picks up.
That's awesome. Okay, I did not know that at all. A lot of competitors don't have anything like that at all. That's good to know.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Okay. And then, so I guess the loans and your loans, like you said, they go up to 3 year loan terms, not just 1 year. You can take it out as long as 3 years, and then you will be given the option to roll those over in the future when that becomes a need. You haven't gotten it yet.
Correct. Yep. And if you need to close a loan early, you're free to do that as well. In the US, I think we have to collect at least 6 months of interest. Again, on a 1% loan, that's a very small amount of money. But if you take a 3-year loan and want to close it after 1 year, it's no problem, right? If you want to close it after 3 months, it's no problem. We're very, very flexible when it comes to our lending options.
That's good to know. That's good to know.
And no fees. We don't believe in fees at Celsius. You're never gonna find a fee. There's an active bounty from Alex if you find someone that paid a fee to Celsius, because we don't charge withdrawal fees, we don't charge origination fees, account inactivity fees, minimums. We don't do real minimums either. You can come to our app and transfer $1 worth of crypto and earn the same rate as the guy with $100 million in crypto. It's a very fair, flat system.
That is amazing. Okay, and then do you have an exchange built in as well? Can I exchange different cryptocurrencies, or is it you just send in the currency you want to hold on Celsius? Is there an exchange?
Right now we have two fiat options, one for a credit card, one for a ACH transfer and SEPA. So in fiat purchases we do support. Exchanges between is we call it swaps, and it's something that we're developing still on the back end. Turns out it's very difficult to build this exchange function in a way that doesn't charge fees, is instant, and automatic, easy to use. So we're definitely going to bring an exchange feature to market, but it's going to be, again, nothing that your competitors are using. Like same with credit cards, right? We're also developing a credit card. We talked about it a lot on the AMAs, but it's not going to be a credit card that charges you $200 annually, right? It's not going to be a credit card that's just trying to rip you off at the end of the day and suck money out of your wallet. We are a hodler community. We want to bring as much financial independence to people, not take it away with them through fees and costs, and encouraging you to sell your assets that are going to the moon.
Understood. Yeah, no, that makes complete sense of why you're doing that, and honestly I appreciate it as somebody looking into the services. I it's kind of refreshing to hear some
Yeah,
of this.
we stand out in that we're not a third party that's just providing a service, right? That's really not our mantra. Our mantra is we are an advocate of the user, and we are actively looking to make you, as one of our community members, as much money as possible on your money. It's not a neutral, oh, hey, if you want to come take a loan, or hey, if you deposit here, we'll pay you this. It's like, hey, if you want to earn as much as you can, as easy as you can, allow us, give us the privilege of holding your assets, and we're going to do our best to give you the highest rewards, pay you every week, secure your assets, and bring you one step closer to financial independence.
And so, God forbid, like the crypto market crashes for whatever reason, we've seen it in the past, you know,
Sure.
80% drawbacks. What type of warnings are there to people that have loans taken out before they get liquidated or anything like that? Are there warnings, emails sent, or is there any sort of time period given to anybody to make whole or?
Yes, definitely. The last thing we want you to do is get liquidated, right? Like we do not want to liquidate you, because it's a lose-lose situation. You lose out on your coins and they're lost at the lowest price. We lose out on the trust and your good experience with us. If we liquidate you, the odds of you being a happy user go down dramatically.
Right.
So we that's why we encourage like 4-to-1 loans, because they have a very, very low chance of getting liquidated. But when there is like a very turbulent time in the market, like last March, that was a great example of, we knew it was getting ugly. So ahead of the time, before people even started getting margin calls, we started putting out emails asking users, hey, please send us more collateral, or send back some of the cash that you borrowed or stablecoin that you borrowed. We are actively trying to not have you liquidated, because it's a lose-lose situation.
And as I pay down my loan, does that give me, you know, better leverage against something like that? Like if I were to pay down my loan as the year goes on or 3 years goes on.
Well, you don't have to pay down your loan, because you're just paying the interest. So if you take a loan at 50%, right? You say, let's say you borrow $50,000 against $100,000 of Bitcoin.
Right.
You're only paying the interest only, right? You still owe that 50,000, but you also have to factor in the appreciation of Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin goes double or triple, we're going to give you some of your collateral back because, hey, we only need $100,000 worth of Bitcoin, right? Maybe that's 10 Bitcoin, maybe that's only 5 Bitcoin, maybe that's only 2 Bitcoin. And as those prices change, we'll do what's called a reverse collateral call, and we will give you your coins back so that you can earn yield on them because the loan is denominated in dollars. We don't want to hold your coins. We just need enough to protect the community.
Understood. Understood. But I have to pay my loan back eventually, right?
Correct. Yeah. At the end of your term, or if you want to extend it, you can keep pushing it out.
I could,
But at
yeah, I was
the
gonna
the end of the term is when the borrowed amount is due.
is due. But I could always
And
make, there's no prepayment penalty for me to like pay it off throughout the year or whatever, right?
no, I guess you could just, send some of it in. Say you only need half the cash you thought you did. You could return half of the cash and then just have effectively half the size of a loan.
Right, understood. Understood. And then I guess with the appreciation of the asset, that 1% becomes pretty much negligent every year.
Right. I mean, as if you're holding high quality assets, 1 or 5% even is very negligible when you're talking about getting a hold on to it. Like, I mean, again, imagine selling ADA 6 months ago to pay for something, right? It would have been a travesty. You would have missed out on life-changing appreciation.
Right. Right. And I don't want to miss it again with either Bitcoin or ADA again in the future. So,
Exactly. So don't sell, just borrow.
all right,
That's the name of the game.
we gotta rush out this Cardano on Celsius network.
Yeah. Put the pressure on. Tweet Alex, tweet at Celsius. Alex Mashinsky, say, hey, we want Cardano. We spoke with Zach and we want Cardano now. And he'll hear it. And that'll put the fire under his butt.
You definitely have somebody who's willing to not only send in my assets to earn interest on, but a borrower, with the tax bill coming up.
Yeah.
I definitely want to do that to continue to hold the asset. One person said in the chat, which was a good question. I think I already know the answer, but not totally clear. Is the interest is compounding and it's weekly compounding, so it's not paid into a separate account. It goes right into, like, if you're holding Bitcoin with Celsius weekly, you're paid Bitcoin into that same account, and that's compounded.
Correct. Yeah. Whatever sats you have in your wallet are earning yield. And so every Monday, you get a new um, deposit into your account. Those sats are now earning yield for the following week. It's all in one wallet that you see in the app.
Makes complete sense. That makes complete sense and makes it very, very easy. Very, very easy. And it's paid
Mm-hmm.
weekly, which is amazing. It's not monthly. It's not,
Right.
quarterly or annually. It's weekly.
Right. And right now our
Weekly.
rates, I think we pay 4%, and it's not 4% per week. It's 4% annualized,
Annual.
paid
Yeah.
weekly.
Yes,
If someone's
that's
paying you 4% per week, then I would be very, very careful of
yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
that.
Yeah, the percentage rate is an annualized percentage rate and it's paid out weekly.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's those that kind of like to de-risk or, maybe hold some in stable coins. And the stable coin rates in crypto are phenomenal. I mean, right now I think we're paying 10.5%. So if you need to park assets in stable coin for whatever reason, again, 10.5% compounding is probably 100 times better than you could get in any bank account.
Wow, yeah, that's amazing. That's extremely high. I mean, there's no point to have a bank account anymore, it pretty much seems
That's what I'm saying.
like. You guys are quickly becoming the bank. Do you guys plan to offer any other products in the future like that? Speaking of which, like car loans, mortgages?
Absolutely. So that you got to take all this in the perspective that crypto was the new rails that allowed this business to work. There's no reason why you couldn't do the same business model with equities, with bonds, with real estate, with car titles. Like this is a hundreds and hundreds of trillion-dollar market that can be addressed over the next 5 or 10 years. And I think it's going to change everything. Because if you told me, oh, you can hold your Tesla with Robinhood and they're going to pay you nothing, or you can hold it with Celsius and pay you 20 or 30% interest yield on that asset because people want to borrow it, that's a no-brainer. I'd move my stocks over right away.
Yeah, absolutely. I would move the account today.
Yeah. So
And I,
that's the goal.
yeah, and I'm always interested because I come from like a real estate background, hold some rental property and things.
Mhm.
And I'm just waiting for the day I can tokenize my rental property and kind of, either pay out the rent, do like a management, almost like a REIT or something like that, or
Mhm.
how it's possible to tokenize and like get more liquidity for my real estate. It's so hard to have liquidity in real estate, and
Right.
I think that's something that crypto can really, blockchain can really help solve with title services, and just even when you want to go to sell real estate, even if I don't need a real estate agent, which I used to be, so I'm allowed to kind of trash them a little bit, you know. I still have to use a title company and a lawyer to get stuff done, and title companies got to pay to do all these title searches that are complicated. And it would just be so much easier if a property was tokenized and the liquidity was there to sell it. I just think that's like a big opportunity for cryptocurrency and blockchain technology in the future on my end of things.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, what I think the issue is the Oracle problem, right? Like, how do we tie ownership to a token? It's hard to say, like jumping that gap from the digital world to the real world, but that'll get solved. And once it does, like imagine if you could buy, I could buy a house in Tennessee without having to see it, or I could buy 10% ownership via this token, like, and then I get my monthly yield from the rent. Like, that would be something phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely. And then LWC Wu Tang in the chat here put up a good question. And so, like, in the future, you're looking to be able to like move stocks to Celsius. He's asking, can he now? I don't, not right now, but
No, no.
in the future, you're looking at moving equities, and instead of like say TD Ameritrade, who I use currently to trade on every single day,
Hmm.
they lend out my assets, and I get nothing for it.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
so
Think
you,
of all of like what really upsets me is imagine someone's 401k, your long-term retirement account that you've been saving money with for 30 years. And for 30 years, they've been taking your assets, lending them out and making money and paying you nothing and delaying your retirement because imagine having another 5% yield, right, in kind on your 401k. It would cut your working time by 50%. But no, that money doesn't go to you. That goes to the brokerage and makes you work twice as long.
See, all this decentralized finance is cutting all that like lack of the internet, just the communication ability, like ability with the internet is cutting out all these like gatekeeping strategies that were
Yeah,
previously used,
yeah, absolutely. And a creditor investor log, like it creates a lot of issues, but there is no credit investors in DeFi. You can go out and get 100% yield or invest in some token or do whatever you want to do, right, with complete freedom because there is no entity. There is no one to shut down. And that's amazing for the layperson because it gives them an opportunity to make, serious investments while they're still young and you have the time to fail. Like, sure, there's going to be some nasty projects out there and you're going to lose your money, but you have the time to recoup that when you're young, right? You can turn $1,000 to $1 million in crypto, and that just does not happen anywhere else. And in places like the US, you're legally not allowed to invest in those type of things unless you're already a millionaire.
Yeah, I had to jump so many. I'm invested in a small microbrewery here in Cincinnati, and it's a friend of mine, a personal friend from the age of 5 years old. He's been my best
Mm,
friend. And just to get invested with his company was so hard and so many loops and
wow.
regulations that not only I had to jump, but they had to jump to
Right.
accept my money,
Yep.
which is just
It
crazy
is
to
really,
me.
it's a racket. I think it's really a racket in order to protect large investors from small investors, just
I
like,
I could have
big
taken that
business.
Yeah, I could have taken that same $25,000 and gone like a mile down the road to the casino and put it all
Right.
on black, and nobody would have stopped me from doing any of that.
Hey, but remember, this is for your protection, okay?
Right, right. And I'm dealing with it now with stock trading. I don't have a $25,000 stock account, and I'm sitting here, this morning I'm almost thinking about selling out of my cryptocurrency because of this day trader rule. If I don't have $25,000 in my stock account, I can only
Yeah.
make 3 day trades a week. And
What is that?
I made a day trade today, and I'm like, oh, it's up. I'm going to sell half now, and lock in some profits. And then I immediately realized I can't sell the other half. I only had 1 day trade.
Wow, how
So
silly.
so now I'm forced to take a loss potentially. Like
Right.
they're locking me in for a loss.
Right.
It's
And what's the difference between $25,000 and $10,000? Like, I mean,
right.
are you a different person? Or does that mean you're that much smarter? I mean, it's just nonsense.
It is nonsense. It is nonsense. So this is awesome. I'm glad we got to speak today, Zach. I'm really glad you came on and we got to speak because this has enlightened me to a lot of like how Celsius works. I'm actually anxious now when we get off to get some cryptocurrency onto my Celsius account and get it working for me. And I'm sure a lot of people in the chat are. Uh, the next event, like live events, you guys are saying is Miami in July. Would you say July or June?
In June, yeah. So the next live in-person event will be June 4th, Bitcoin 2021 in Miami. I've already seen the guest list. You can go to their website. It's going to be off the chain. And for anyone that's interested, we have a promo on our website. Get $40 when you create a new account and transfer $200 worth of crypto. Also, if you want to drop your referral link, it's a really great referral bonus. We spend most of our marketing paying our users to invite them to come in rather than paying Google or paying, all these online advertisers that want hundreds of thousands of dollars to for you to say their name.
Absolutely. Is that like a convention going on in Miami? Are there going to be like educational sessions as well as like open floor? I'm assuming like you guys will have
I
like a
was, I,
booth.
yeah, I mean, there's going to be thousands of people there. All the big speakers, Pomp will be there, Morgan Creek, um, Scaramucci, I think Raul Paul. Like, it's going to be the event this year.
So I absolutely need to be there. Is
Yeah,
what you're
100%.
saying.
100%.
Got it. Got it. All right. Put it on the books. That's what's up. Any other big events you're looking forward to this year, or just kind of starting it off there and we'll see kind of how the year rolls.
Yeah, that's going to be the big one. We're looking to do some other events, but I haven't got confirmed that we've signed yet, so I don't want to announce. But every Friday there's a big event with our AMA. Come check us out, Celsius Network. We're live on YouTube with the CEO, usually a couple special guests and myself. And we talk about everything that's going on in the company, things that are going in around the world, and we take live questions. So please come join us there.
Awesome, and that's every single Friday. Where is it streamed out again? I'm sorry.
On YouTube.
On
And
YouTube.
we
Okay.
also stream it through Twitch and through Twitter's thing, Signal.
Through
I'm not
Signal.
sure.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good to know.
Yeah.
So good to know it's on Twitch as well and YouTube and Twitter.
Yep. Yep.
And
Yep.
you
Yep.
guys are
Every Friday.
very, very active on social media as well on the Twitter account. So
Full
that's
time
good.
social media. She's doing a fantastic job. Um, and we've ramped it up. Like our company has doubled employees in the past, I don't know, maybe 2.5, 3 months. We've really kicked up the gas.
How many employees do you guys have and how many offices around the world?
This morning we just had a call and we had 163 people on the call.
Ooh.
Um, and we've got offices many places: Israel, New York, New Jersey, um, Australia, Great Britain or UK, um, Austin, Texas. Like, we are all over the place and expanding quickly.
Somebody in chat, LWC Wu Tang says, "Are you hiring?"
Absolutely. Go to our webpage at the bottom. There's careers. We probably have, I don't know, 30 or 40 jobs posted there. And then there's just a general, hey, Are you interested in working with us? Please tell us about your skills, where you get put in. And if we find something that's not listed or see your skills are particularly great, we're looking for people with DeFi experience. DeFi is an amazing opportunity that Celsius takes advantage of to bring extremely high rewards. So if you have DeFi experience, NFT experience, we are extremely interested in talking with you. Jobs@celsius.network is the contact email, but look at those positions on the website under careers.
He said Rand is my reference. I need a job first. I need a job first, LWC.
100%.
No, man, Zach, it was really great talking with you today. I learned a lot. Where can people follow you before we wrap up, and learn more?
Sure. I'm on Twitter, Zach _Hodalon. Also follow Celsius on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, Celsius Network everywhere. And join us for the AMA. Come talk to us, come ask us some questions. And we also pay rewards on those questions too. So you get a chance to win $50 every week.
That is awesome. I'm going to have to make sure I get into those AMAs every Friday after our stream.
Sweet, sweet. Thank you so much for having us on. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I hope to talk to you in the future.
Yeah, thanks, Zach. We'll definitely speak again, and maybe we'll be able to have a drink in Miami.
Fantastic. Sounds good.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Thank you for watching the YouTube videos. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, comment down below, help us out with the YouTube algorithms. And we're live 5 days a week on Twitch, 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. EST. Come check us out. Thanks for watching.